Hello all, welcome to What the Hey, I am your host of What the Day. Let me start that again. Hello all, welcome to What the Hey, I am your host of What the... I'm gonna scream. Hello all, welcome to What the Hey, I am your host of What the Hey, and today we're actually gonna get into some Who the Hey. I almost messed up there. So the question for today's video is who the hey was George Washington, because rest in pepperoni, he died. Spoiler alert, he died. So George Washington's full name is George Washington. Fun fact, back around the 19th century, they didn't use middle names for the colonies and stuff, so his whole and full name is just George Washington, which is pretty cool, so very nice. George Washington was born on February 11th, 1731 in Pope's Creek, Virginia. Let me clarify also that there's this whole mishap with when he was born. Like, they know when he was born, which was February 11th, but the problem is, with the way the calendar was set up at that time, they changed it, and he's technically actually born on February 22nd, 1732. So his legit kind of basically birthday was on February 11th, but it's technically February 22nd. I don't know. George Washington. Whoa! I can't read that though. So George Washington died on December 14th. That's 2 days after my birthday. That sucks. Anyways, he died on December 14th in 1799 in Mount Vernon, Virginia, which Mount Vernon is where he basically stayed like a good amount of his life and where he died. So Mount Vernon, Virginia. Boys. When he died, he was 67 years old, so that's, at that time, that was pretty good. And the reason for his death, so he was really sick. I didn't write this down, but I'm just gonna explain it to you anyways. He was really sick, and he like had trouble breathing and eating and all that. But this dude came in, he's like a blood person at that time. They didn't really know about, things about the body that much, but he came in and he's like, man, I'm gonna make George Washington feel better. And he kind of did, actually. Like, he kind of did succeed, but he didn't in the end. So George Washington is like on this bed and he's like not feeling good, and they cut, like, they like cut a thing in his arm and they let blood like leak out into like this bowl thing, and it was, I can't even remember, it's a good amount of blood that they let out. And George Washington actually felt a little bit better while he like was having this done, but eventually too much got out, and that's a problem, so he died. So if you don't know who George Washington is, his most notable achievement is that he was the first president of the United States, which is pretty important, so I hope you know that now. So George Washington served 2 terms as president, and he actually didn't want to do a third one, which is kind of surprising. Plus, not a lot of presidents after George Washington didn't do more than 2 years or 2 terms until like President Roosevelt came along, and he did 3 or more. I can't remember which, but he broke the rule of George Washington's 2-term thing, which is, edgy, I guess. So George Washington had a wife named Martha Washington. They got married on January 6th, 1759. Good for them. George Washington had 2 kids. He didn't have 2 kids. I think the kids were with Martha originally, but George technically adopted them, and their names were John and Patsy, and I believe Patsy died at a really early age of, I believe, about 16 or so. I can't fact check me on that if you want, but she died early, and then John got married and lived, I guess. I'll have to do a thing on him and we can explain that. So George Washington, he was kind of special because he was the first president, obviously, but compared to other presidents, he actually fought in the wars that were going on around that time. Like, he actually put himself out there and was really good at what he did. And he apparently, this is an approximated number because I tried to look at the amount of wars, but no one's really clear on what he did and what he didn't fight in. So approximately, according to me, fact check me again, he approximately fought in about 13 wars, probably more, or maybe a little less. I don't know. Also, tidbit, He didn't win a lot of the wars, which kind of stinks, I guess. He did fight, he like didn't do bad. Like one of the coats he had, or he was in a war or something, and the coat that he had got shot, and I believe the horse that he was on or something did too, but he was completely fine and didn't get hurt, so you know, great. So some extra facts about our man George. He was a surveyor originally before he was president, so that was his official job first before he became more official as the first president of the United States. Whoop whoop. So you've probably heard the thing of George Washington cut down a cherry tree. Why? Truth be told, he didn't actually, apparently, I don't know, I wasn't there when this happened, even though it didn't. He did not cut down a cherry tree, so when he was dying, or like through his life, there's this dude named Parson Weems, sure, who wrote a biography for George Washington, and it was after George died, I believe. He wrote the biography, and he included that in there, which was stupid, because I don't know why you would. Dang it, Weems. Last but not least, this is probably my favorite fact about George. He had a lot of hunting dogs, he had a lot of land, he had a lot of money, he had a lot of slaves, too. Not great. But he had around, and probably more, I don't know, 30 hunting dogs. George Washington really liked his hunting dogs and dogs in general. I believe one of his dogs' names was like Tipsy or something, which is funny on you, George. Great job. So yeah, that's all you really need to know in my case, I guess. This is all I wrote down about George, but that's George Washington. Yee! So thank you for watching. More videos to come. Leave a question if you want. I'll hopefully answer it. I don't know. We'll see. I have an Instagram too. What the hey, I think, but it's backwards because I'm complicated like that. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye.